All right, so today I'm going to be talking about what I think are the most underrated Generation 4 pickleball paddles. So Generation 4 is foam core paddles, and I'm not going to be reviewing the Boomstiks today. You guys have been hearing me talk about that a lot. I think they are very well rated because people have been using them and loving them. But today I wanted to talk about two new paddles that I got that I think are very unique and underrated on the market. So I think Luzz has been getting a lot of attention recently with a lot of reviewers and other people, and rightfully so. I think it plays really well. But I wanted to start off my review talking about the GatorStrike. So I'll talk about the Luzz in a sec, but the GatorStrike. So what is amazing to me about the GatorStrike is that it is the world's least reviewed pickleball paddle. If you take a look on the internet, you'll find no reviews on this thing. And I don't know why, right? Actually, I do know why. So I was looking at the website and I saw man, it has 1,000 reviews. And I disagree with that because it just literally came out and it cannot have 1,000 reviews yet. So it just launched. So does that mean the 1,000 reviews are for the company as a whole? I don't know. I think it's a little bit misleading, but nonetheless, I think it is a very, very unique, intriguing paddle that is worth a look. So, I did reach out to the company to find out why there's a lack of reviews on this paddle, and basically compared to the Luzz Inferno and a bunch of other stuff, they don't send out any paddles for reviews from different people. So you actually have to go and literally buy the paddle, and no reviewers is gonna go and reach out to a random unknown pickleball company to ask for to buy their paddles and do a review. But I'm Pickleball Advocate, and I did that. So I literally just went on the website, bought the paddle, and can give you a very honest review of this, right? So I think it's really underrated because, the paddle is actually really mind-blowing, right? And it exceeded my expectations by a long shot, right? I'll talk about the playability of it in a bit, but I just wanted to first go over the design of the paddle. Right. So first off, it has a unique shape to it. So it has kind of a flare out at the bottom and actually tapers wider. And then it has these cuts at the top. So in terms of a height, it resembles a hybrid paddle. So let me compare it side by side with my hybrid Thrive Fury. It's just a tad longer. I mean, the tapers kind of match the corners here, but has a little bit higher of a handle than the Thrive Fury, and then kind of gives you a little bit of extra room here at the top. And then the flare, sticks out a little bit at the top. So I would actually compare this. So it is a hybrid shape, but the shape is kind of like a Yola Agassi. Right, so it kind of has that resemblance of the flare out here. This is kind of a little bit thinner than the GatorStrike. So it's basically if I were trying to make an Agassi as a hybrid, I might think of something like this shape. But then they did something kind of funky here where they cut out the corners, which I think they got some inspiration from the J6 NF. I mean, this is maximal shape size to get the dimensions, and then this is, I don't know, they just had kind of get this flare, kind of like a 6-0, but then they just went full aesthetics on it to make it super unique. So if you're looking for a unique paddle that no one else has in a shape that is very special, definitely check out the paddle. So oh, can you see that with this lighting? Oh yeah, that is something that I think is super cool on this. Not only does it have a unique shape, but it has this almost holographic logo on it. So that's pretty awesome. Look at that. Whoop, whoop. Oh yeah. And yeah, it's kind of these shiny gator scales. And the face of this paddle is really gritty. So, I mean, I can't really see the weave compared to other paddles because one thing that is notably different about the GatorStrike paddles is that it uses a different carbon fiber construction. So a lot of pickleball paddles out there, I wonder if it even says it on here. Anyways, a lot of pickleball paddles will use a T700 grit, and I only know this because I used to bike a lot, and in the biking industry, they grade their carbon fiber by the quality. And so a T700 is actually a lower quality carbon fiber that's heavier. So if you're looking for an extremely lightweight carbon fiber, you'll actually go up in numbers. So a T700, a T800 is more expensive. For carbon fiber bikes to get light, you can go like T1000, I think 1100 as well. But this actually uses a T800. So that's a higher quality carbon fiber, which I think is a finer weave. I don't know the technical details there. I just know it's lighter. And so because it's lighter, I think they allow for like a greater texture for the carbon fiber. So it does cost more to manufacture, and I think it goes into the product. I don't see a whole lot of pickleball companies out there going with the T800 weave just because it is more expensive, but I think I've seen like one or two other pickleball companies that have that, and I'll be reviewing some more of the T800 stuff later. But yeah, so they do use a different mesh layout for the T800, and I think it makes a difference in the spin because it is very gritty. Let me talk a little bit about the playability now, right? So for being a Gen 4 foam core paddle, this paddle was pretty stiff and crispy in a good way, right? Like most of the time when I think stiff, like it's like a bored, small sweet spot, you can't control it. But for some reason, like I couldn't tell like right off the bat that this was a Gen 4 paddle, right? Because of the contact feel that I got with it, right? It hit very well, very much like a Gen 3 paddle, and it didn't have that like hollow thump that you got with like a Boomstik, right? So Boomstik, you get this really like intense hollow thump there, but then this one is very crisp, and that made it really nice for a foam core paddle. And so I think with the shape layout, it gave it a very forgiving face. So anywhere I hit on this face, I mean, similar to kind of like the Agassi construction, you get like a better layout on the bottom for mishits down here. But then because it was a hybrid, it gave a very stiff face all across it. So I know with a lot of paddles, you kind of get the die out on the side. This one, it wasn't like a Boomstik where you kind of get the pocketed dwell, it flies off. This one was just, imagine like Paddle Tech or like Proton, Flamingo, like hard. And I think one way that they got that was they went with a 15 millimeter core. So 15 is a little bit thinner than a lot of the on the market. So it's kind of, so the Yolas, they'll go 14 millimeter and 16 millimeter. 15 is basically a Proton Flamingo. They go with the thinner core, and I think that allows for more pop. And the way it feels is, imagine, so on the spectrum of things, there's like a Thrive Fury, which is like stiffer. So pretty much if the Thrive Fury was made into a foam paddle, like it would be very mixed in with a hybrid like Agassi. This is kind of like what it would resemble with like extreme grit. And I think some people are really going to like this paddle, right? It basically, hits really well, has a lot of spin, and I don't know why more people aren't using this paddle. Oh, I think it's still kind of on the DL, like in my opinion, and I think it's going to take off soon, right? And so what I don't like, so going back to the website, taking a look at it, like when I was like buying this paddle, like I thought it was going to be a control paddle because all of their marketing language on that makes it seem like a control paddle, but this paddle really packs a punch. And I mean, the price on this is what, $210, and I got like a 20% off discount code, which took it down to about $160, which for a premium like Gen 4 foam paddle, that's a pretty good price. And after I bought it and played around with it, it's actually on sale now for $189 plus a 20% discount code if you use 10K Pickleball, and that gets it down to $150, right? So, I mean, why would you not get this paddle for that price? Like, I'll try to put up some like gameplay footage of it, but it was like, it exceeded my expectations by a long shot. So that's my review of the GatorStrike. Yeah, I'll get some more playtime on it to see how it changes over time, but definitely a nice hard-hitting paddle. So if you're looking for high pop with a lot of stability, this is the way to go. So let's go over to now the Luzz Inferno. So I got this thing a little while back, and it basically, I hit it once, and my impressions of it were meh. Like, it felt initially kind of stiff. It was like, kind of like what I was thinking. It was like kind of like a elongated Thrive Fury if it was a foam version. That was kind of my initial thoughts. And then I put it in my bag, just let it sit there for a while, and I was going to make a review with it, so I kind of came back to it. And after a while, it really softened up, and it played so much different than the first time I hit it. And I've really been liking this paddle. So, like the Luzz Inferno, it was kind of a wild card when I like first tested it, but now that it's broken in, I love it. Like, it has a lot of pop, which means I don't have to swing very much to get those counters, but it's not uncontrollable like a 14. Because a 14 I feel like is less stable than the 16 millimeters that the Luzz Inferno is. And so, like, I don't know. This is an elongated shape paddle. Like, compared to most elongated shape paddles, I felt it was very like manageable to control the swing of this paddle. So I did put a cap coin on the bottom of it, and that balanced it a little bit down. And like the balance of it now, I really like. And so let's talk a little bit about the story of how I ended up using this paddle. So I was in a tournament, and I was in the finals for the bronze medal match, and I was using a wide body paddle at the time, and I lost the first game, and I was like, man, I need to switch up something. I'm missing these shots that I should be like getting because of a little bit of the reach. So then I was like, why not? Let's give it a shot. So I ended up grabbing this as my elongated paddle, and came back the second game and won like 11-4, just like switching this thing. And I was like, man, like, one is elongated paddle. It had that pop and spin, and yeah, it just got these like amazing like cross court drop shots that it just ended up like winning that game. Unfortunately, I ended up losing in the third game because I ended up cramping in my leg. But had it not been for that, this would have been the comeback paddle that would have won me that medal. But that being said, I've been using this a lot for both singles and doubles. So because it was pretty maneuverable, like I've been liking this paddle. So in terms of play style, like I prefer this sort of paddle where it's a high pop, but then has a lot of pocketing feel to it. So there's kind of like a spectrum of paddles out there where there's poppy, very stiff, and then poppy, like very dwelly. So, like, I've learned that I like paddles more on the dwelly side of things. So that's similar to what I got, like an RPM. So where's my RPMs? Here it is. Okay. So that's like an RPM. So the RPM is going to get you a lot of like dwell in there, but a lot of power and pop as well. On the other end of the spectrum, you have like so I would say middle is like a Yola Pro 4. So it's like a Pro 4 Agassi is in the middle, and then on the further end of pop and stiffness is a Thrive Fury, because they add this like fiberglass layer in the middle that allows for that extra pop. So let's go back and kind of give a paddle like recap of what we covered before. So actually first, let's go over pricing on the Luzz Inferno. Luzz Inferno is $230. You get like a 15% off discount code with but so that takes it down to like $195. So it's still like towards the high end of the almost 200 range. So it is a little bit more expensive of a paddle, but it does play very well. It has a different layout of foam. It uses an MPPP foam core, which is different from kind of the other like floating foam cores that you see with like a Boomstik and like a Loco by bread and butter. So now let's bring it back with the Armor Gen 5X GatorStrike versus the Luzz Inferno. So I think, like I said, these are two highly underrated pickleball paddles, right? Luzz was a company like that came out of left field. Like, I mean, it's been around for a little bit. I mean, people have been using their paddles, but it just kind of like skyrocketed in popularity recently. And oh, sorry guys, hold on one second. All right, yeah, but yeah, so it skyrocketed in popularity because a lot of people getting their hands on it, and I think the GatorStrike will probably do the same once people actually find out about this thing. But my recommendation is, if you're looking for an elongated paddle with high pop and grab dwell on the paddle, like I would say, and look for the Luzz Inferno. That's been great for a Gen 4 paddle. But if you want a hybrid paddle that has a lot of pop, spin, and like a stable face that is very forgiving, like I would say check out the GatorStrike, right? I mean, and my overall recommendation is the GatorStrike, especially since it's essentially half the price of a Boomstik after code. So 10K Pickleball gets this thing down right now to $150 because of some recent sales. And I mean, $150 versus $355, like I would give this guy a shot, right? Like that. I mean, I've tried a lot of different paddles, and this was just something really unique that I was not expecting that I would like. So give it a go if you like that, and let's check out some other gameplay, and see you guys next time on Pickleball Advocate.